So good morning. This is February the 12th. This is Prepping the Objective. We call it part of our Better Each Day Masterclass. Thank you for being here. We've got some really early risers that have jumped on here and some folks. Let's see, Steiner, you're coming in there from Norway. Doreen, you're in Canada, right? Yeah. So, okay. And then we've got a few other folks here in the US, and Christy is on vacation, but decided to jump in here at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So some really dedicated folks. Thank you all for being here. And if you're watching this by recording, that means that you're in a different time zone or you've got other obligations. But we thank you for being here and part of the masterclass. So we want to jump in and talk about what we're going to focus on today. We always do the gratitude roundtable. We do 3 segments of the masterclass. And if you're not a member of the masterclass, I'll share a link. Or if you're watching this by recording, there'll be a link in the actual description section down below the actual video itself. If you're a member, all that means is that I send you the recorded version. So if you can't be here, I send you the playlist. That way you can continue moving with us. And then when your schedule permits, you can jump on the live calls, ask questions, be interactive, and go from there. So I really appreciate each one of you being here this morning. So here's what we're going to do first. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to watch Dr. Joe Dispenza, and we're going to talk about what does it mean not just to have gratitude about things that have happened in our past, not just to have gratitude about things that are happening right now in our present moment, but how can we have gratitude about things that haven't occurred yet? And why should we do that? So I'm going to let Dr. Joe Dispenza make the case for this, and then we'll talk about it when we do the gratitude roundtable. So hang on a second while I share my screen. And let's see.
How do I feel a feeling of an experience that I haven't had yet? Well, think about this. The number one feeling that we feel when our life begins to change, or we begin to have feedback from our environment that what we're doing inside of us is producing an effect outside of us, the most common emotion that we feel is a love for life, a joy for existence, grateful, a real deep sense of gratitude. Now think about the emotional signature of gratitude. The emotional signature of gratitude means that something has already happened. When you receive something, or when you're given something, or you are in the process of receiving or have received it, you give thanks. So the moment you start feeling this emotion of appreciation and thankfulness, you will automatically say thank you, which means I've just received something. I'm acknowledging that I'm receiving it from you. So most people live their lives waiting for something outside of them to change how they feel inside of them. They're waiting for their new relationship. They're waiting for their new job. They're waiting for their new mystical moment to occur before they feel the emotions. So basically, they're spending the majority of their time waiting and not creating, living in lack, living in emptiness, living in fear, waiting for that external event to take away their emptiness or pain. That's the Newtonian model of reality, of cause and effect. Turns out, though, the moment you're feeling that lack, you tend to try harder and force and control and try to predict or manipulate the outer world, because you're doing everything you can because you're experiencing a separation or polarity from what you want. You're waiting for it to happen and not creating. So then, 2 things. When you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, a heart-centered emotion, not the emotions of survival that are anger and hostility and aggression and competition or hatred or envy or jealousy or insecurity or fear or anxiety or pain or suffering or guilt or shame. Those are derived from the hormones of stress. An elevated emotion is a heart-centered emotion. And a heart-centered emotion lacks polarity. This is the center of oneness. This is the center of wholeness. This is the union of opposites. This is our connection, our bridge to the quantum field. This is where we connect. So think about it. When you begin to feel a heart-centered emotion, what you're doing is you're falling in love with your life. So your body is your unconscious mind. It does not know the difference between an experience that creates an emotion and an emotion that you're creating by thought alone. Your body is believing it's living in that future reality in the present moment. Now think about this. The latest research on genes says the environment signals the gene. Well, the end product of an experience in the environment is called an emotion. So when you begin to embrace the emotion ahead of the actual experience, you're signaling the gene ahead of the environment. And now you're beginning to instruct and select new genes that make new proteins. And proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body. So you're literally becoming your dream. You're literally becoming it. So when you feel that emotion, you tend to be less interested in looking around outside of you of how it's going to happen. If you're walking around conditioning your body every day to feel that emotion, that you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life and you're worthy to receive and you're open and you're inspired and you're optimistic and you're enthusiastic and you're feeling that emotion, you feel like your future has already happened. So you're less likely to feel lack or separation. Now think about this. Point number 2. Once energy makes it to the center and you feel gratitude, that center begins to produce a measurable magnetic field. That's a frequency, that's energy, and all frequency carries information. So now you can lay the thought of your new relationship on that frequency, and now you're broadcasting a whole new electromagnetic signature into the field. So then the longer you're conscious of that energy, the more you're calling your future to you. When this center is opened up, you're connected to the quantum field. So now you don't have to go anywhere to get it, to try to force it or control it or predict it. In fact, you're the magnet. You're collapsing time and space, and the event is being drawn to you, and it comes in synchronicities and serendipities and coincidences, opportunities. Now the antithesis is also true. The moment you feel angry because you're in traffic, the moment you judge your coworker because all of a sudden they push an emotional button, the moment you feel sorry for yourself, victimized or self-pity, you're now emitting a different energy. In fact, you're back to the energy of your past and you just disconnected from your future. So then people's dreams stay at arm's length from them. So people ask me all the time, well, how come my new relationship hasn't happened? And I tell them the same thing. Take out a piece of paper and write down everything you want in a new relationship and then become that person. Because the question fundamentally is, would you go out with you? So if the answer is you're starting to love yourself so much that you no longer need another person, or you're no longer in lack, then you magnetize an equal. It just happens as a side effect. And it doesn't happen in ways that you can predict. It happens in different ways. So the emotions of gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness, a love for life, a joy for existence, worthy to receive, inspired and enthusiastic to be alive, looking forward and in excitement and anticipation to the unknown, staying in that energy without analyzing. That's the energy that allows the unknown to begin to occur. So what you're doing is you're teaching your body emotionally what that future feels like. And when you're in a state of gratitude, you're in the perfect state to receive the fruits of your efforts.
Okay, everybody hear that all right?
Yep.
Volume came through good. Okay, perfect. All right. That was 6 minutes and 47 seconds. How many notes did you get from that? I wrote a whole page full. Okay. So did you get a lot there from Dr. Dispenza?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Okay. So let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll go into the gratitude roundtable because he unboxed a ton of content here. And well, one thing before I get your comment, I want to make one distinction there that I know Dr. Dispenza gets big time is when you are experiencing your reality, what is it that allows you to experience your reality? What are you experiencing reality through? Anybody?
Yourself.
Yourself. Okay, so, but what part of yourself? Let's walk through this. You're experiencing your reality through your mind, right? That's how you interpret it, right? Okay. And all the feelings that come in, whether it's cold on the outside or things that you're seeing, things you're hearing, things that you're smelling, things you're tasting, those are our 5 senses, right? But what are all of those senses interpreted through? The mind, correct? Everybody with me?
Yep.
Now, what component of our mind allows us to analyze and interpret and attempt to understand what all these senses are picking up? It's our imagination. The core kernel in the center of our thought process is our imagination. And if you hear what Dr. Dispenza just talked about, he said your mind cannot distinguish between reality or your visualization of a future event. Do you know why? I just gave you the secret. It's because both of them are powered through your imagination. Okay, that's the key thing. So if you're focusing on a future and helping yourself feel all of the senses of that imagined future, it is imagined just like your imagination in reality is interpreting your reality. So when he's saying your mind cannot distinguish and separate the difference between a future that you are imagining or a present moment that you're imagining. Do you see why? It's because all of it has to go through the engine called your imagination up here. Does everybody get that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when I got that, that made my head blow off. Okay. Maybe that's just me. Okay. Maybe I'm a super nerd or something like that. But when I got that, I was like, oh, it was that aha. It's like, oh, that's the secret. Okay. If everything in our mind gets interpreted through our imagination, I imagine, then everything that you're doing, including the way you're remembering your past, is through a reimagination of an event that is not actually the way the event happened. You're remembering it through your biases and prejudices of your mind, through your filters, and you're actually only seeing it from your perspective. That's why living in the past has no value to us, okay? Because you're not really reliving the reality of how it happened. You're reliving your version based on your modern current state of prejudice, okay? Your current version. So have you ever tried to remember an event that happened when you were 7 years old or 5 years old or 10 years old, okay? But you're remembering it through your current version with all of your knowledge and experience and everything you have now. So you're not remembering it the way it actually happened, okay? So that's why I'm very big, and most people that are focused on how to become your better version of yourself says jettison the past, because everything that you're living, all the regrets, the pains, the agonies, and everything, they have no value for you. And you have to understand you're in control of that because you are reimagining them. And every time you reimagine them, what happens to your body, to your mind, to your attitude? You refeel what you felt back then based on your current way of reimagining it. Okay. So most of those things, are they good or bad when we're thinking about our past? They're not good, are they? Most of the time. Okay. So get rid of the past, but now think about how valuable this is for your future. If you can understand that when you can be grateful for things in your present, that's outstanding, because that's what we talk about here when we prep the objective. That boosts our performance by 31%. Okay, by all of us resonating in a state of gratitude. Okay, and then when we lock arms together on an event like this, when we're all in family, we are all boosting our performance. Okay, now we can do this and also magnetize the future that we want to come towards us. Why? Because we now understand the secret. The secret is accessing your future through your imagination. That's what meditation is about. It's not about walking around all day living in the future, but taking those moments and thinking about the future, the events, the way you want it to become. He also gave us a clue there. If you're looking for that relationship in your life, write down all the things that you would like in the relationship, and then start imagining yourself. We're going to talk about this in the next hour, the 2 events after this, to be as you wish to see. Okay. Young Alexander did that. He became one of the greatest emperors in the world. How did he do that? Because Aristotle taught him the secret that came from Plato, that came from Socrates. Okay. The seminal concept that you can use to change your life and change the lives of others around you is to figure out what is the perfect world that you want in your future. Okay. And then figure out who is it that you need to become to experience that reality. And then go back to it on a regular basis. Take your daily meditation time and experience, not just think about it. And I'm saying, don't just pray about it, okay? Prayer is a way of meditation. But when you're praying, when you're meditating, go into the event and experience it, feel it, smell it, listen to the environments around there. If there's something about the event that you can taste, taste it. Every one of the senses that you can activate through your what? Imagination. Everything that you can activate and imagine, the more powerful you can imagine yourself and associate yourself with that future event, then what do? You give thanks for it. You give thanks for it as if it's already happened. Why? Because in your mind, it already has. Wow. Okay. Does everybody get that? Wow. Okay. This is a secret that I don't know if 1% of the population, that our creator gave us this capability, and I think we've forgotten it, or we've ignored it. Or here's the deal. We don't practice it enough to get really good at magnetizing the future that we can actually create. We can be the creators of our own future. I'm not being sacrilegious. Yes, Steiner?
Yes, I just wondering, is it nearly the similar thing that athletes are doing ahead of the competition?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Many years ahead of the event, or the big day.
Yeah. Steiner, you're exactly right. And that particular activity is called VMR, Visual Motor Rehearsal, VMR. Visual motor rehearsal is actually what we're talking about. It's what the astronauts used to simulate what was going to happen on these events they couldn't imagine in space. How are they going to handle them? Okay. It's the same thing that our best athletes that we call Olympiads. They imagine themselves standing on the pedestal with the gold hanging around their neck. They imagine themselves going through the slalom or going across the bars or ice skating across, and doing those triple axels or whatever they do. That's amazing. Okay. But they see it again and again and again and again and again. And what's the cool thing about visual motor rehearsal is that when you're doing that, guess what? They've looked at the MRIs inside of your brain. And when you are imagining them, the same parts of your brain are firing off as if you're actually doing the activity. They've analyzed people that went out and shot free throws, okay? And then another group that didn't do anything, and then a third group that took the same time that the guy shooting free throws, 100 free throws every day. They shot 100 free throws, but shot perfect, no rim, nothing but net, okay? And guess what? When they actually did the test at the end of it, and everybody came up to the, to the free throw line and shot the real shots, guess who had the best percentage results? The third group. Because in their mind, they were shooting nothing but perfect shots. Nothing but perfect shots. They were creating their perfect reality and imagining it and rehearsing it over and over. That's what Aristotle taught Alexander. That's the secret to the Rubicon system. It's the seminal concept. Be as you wish to seem. It is rehearsing who you need to become to accomplish this life that the Creator put you here for. Everybody get that? Yep. That's it. Okay. Now, what does that mean we have to do? Practice, plan, prepare to what? Perform. That's the whole concept. So we spent a lot of time going on that day. Does everybody get that? Is that good? Excellent? What's your level?
Great.
Good? Okay.
Awesome.
Good?
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Has anyone heard of this before? I know, Steiner, you've heard of the Olympiads before. David, you've heard of it before. Linda, you've heard of it before. Good. Okay.
I have to.
Lisa, you've heard it too. Okay. Good. All right. So does everyone understand how to do this? Okay. Yes or no? Are you ready? Are you ready to do it? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a second here because I know we always do a gratitude roundtable for something that's happened in our life recently or right now or but I want us to spend the next few minutes and I want us to stop here for a second. And I want you to take yourself to that future place. Just choose the one that just came to your mind. And I want you to think about who you have become to get to that perfect future place. Okay? Close your eyes because it's better when you imagine with your eyes closed. Okay? Now, put it on the theater of your mind where you can actually see on the screen in front of your mind and see that version of yourself And now see the other people that are in that event with you. And I want you to take a second to think about who you have become in order to be there, experience this level of achievement. I want you now to think for a second and then switch and feel it. Feel what it feels to have achieved this version of yourself. Use your imagination to add every sense that you can possibly add. If it's standing on a beach, you want to feel the breeze, smell the salt in the breeze, hear the laughter of whoever is around you that's in the perfect world, and then feel yourself standing there. Feel the weight of your body pressing down on your feet, pressing against where you're standing. And now use your imagination to reach around you and see everything that you can see in your mind's eye. And the last thing, give thanks. That's it right there. That, which you just did, is the secret inside the secret. This is something that I highly recommend to your daily practice. When you're doing your meditation and doing your breathing and focusing yourself in the now and stopping the negative talk and stopping the living in the past, when you take your moment to be here and be present and take one more moment and go to this future place and use it. This is your creation. This is your whiteboard. It doesn't have to be the same place. If you decide to create another place, you get to evolve. You are the creator of your future. Keep noticing what are the elements and the capabilities and the version of you that you need to become. And when you're done, write that in your journal. That is what we'll show you using the compass in the next 30 minutes. And then after that, we're going to talk about the P5 system on how all this incorporates. Okay, good. Did everybody get something good today? Okay.
Absolutely,
David,
yes.
go ahead, David.
Good question. What to write in the journal again?
You're writing this event as you're describing it. You want to craft it. You want to write it in the words. Okay, so you're writing in the journal what you're imagining your future version of yourself, and then anything you need to become this, whether it's maybe additional education, or you need to read a book, or you need to learn, I don't know, another language, or you need to become a certain level of, I don't know, success in business, or you need to write down all the attributes. If it's a relationship that you're looking for, write down all those attributes. Business person, relationship, father, mother, spouse, member of your community. Craft it all out. Okay, take it from your mind and write it through that instrument, put it in your journal. And now every time you come back here, if you need to add more, go back there and add more. This is an ongoing evolution of who you are becoming. Remember how I told you before in the past events that you live a narrative that someone else has given you. Parents have given us, ministers, professors, peers, okay, society. It's time for you to write your own narrative, to live your own script, to become the version of yourself that you choose to become. And you're like, Steve, I don't know if I've ever done that before. Great. And we start today. Start writing your own narrative of your life, of the play that you're in called reality, and live, like it says back there, it says, live the story you want to tell. That's why that's so important to me. That's why it's back here on my wall. Live the story you want to tell. Okay. Now, we've only got we've got 4 minutes left. So I got to do a couple things real quick here. I need to make sure, is everybody on here already a member of the Better Each Day program, Masterclass? Is everybody already a member? Okay, I think everybody already is.
Yes.
Okay. So that means,
Yes.
so that means everybody gets a recording of this. I just want to make sure. So I don't need to drop that link in this chat because we're already there. Does everybody know how to go to the next 30-minute program? You have the links. Everybody good?
Yes.
Okay, so when we sign off this, you simply go to the next link. The reason for that is I record each one of these in 30-minute podcast, so that anyone that's wanted to listen to this in the future, they can choose which ones they want, as opposed to doing a 90-minute run and trying to find pieces in here that they want. This allows people to kind of do the masterclass cafeteria style. Some people love coming to the prepping the objective, doing the gratitude, learning how to focus their mind. Other people like to just come to the compass to learn how to organize their life. Other people just want more of the theory and the experience of why does the compass work and whatever, okay? This allows everyone to have their version that they believe that they need for their life, as opposed to me dictating, you need to listen to 90 minutes of program every single week, okay? That's not what we want to do. We want to help people grow at the pace that they choose to grow. And so I know it's a little bit of inconvenience, so I appreciate your patience, but that's why we jump off and then we jump back on and we sign back on and we record it as a separate session. And then I post each one of these into the YouTube channel so that everybody can get it as they need. Okay, cool. Now, you can invite other people to this, okay? Who should you invite? Other people like us, okay? What does that mean? Other people that are devoted, that I've been up since 2:30 this morning, maybe before that. Why? Because I am so excited about being here with you. I prep and bring everything I can here because I want you to be your next level that you can be. And if I'm not thinking and prepping and bringing everything that I have to you, then I don't want you to miss because I didn't prep hard enough. Does that make sense? So I plan, prepare, and practice myself and make sure that I'm organized so that when we get here, we get to get this maximum content in a short period of time, because I know our lives are so busy. I appreciate each one of you for being here, and including you, Christy. You actually joined us early on your vacation. That's so amazing. So awesome. But that's what I mean by that. When you have that level of preparation, you know the other people in your life that resonate at this level, okay? The
That's
individuals
great.
have this conversation. Yes, Steiner?
I just want to say that's great of you. Thank you.
You bet, buddy. I'm happy to do this. And here's the thing, go out and find, there's usually one or two people in your life that vibrate like this, that live to help the world become better. And they, because of that commitment, they're pushing themselves always for them to become their better version. They're reading, they're studying, they're listening, they're watching, okay? They're meditating, okay? When you find those individuals, invite them, help them become part of our group. Why? Because it's all of us working together that's going to change the world, right? Okay. So
where is the next link? Where do I find it?
the next link is in, hang on a second. Let me grab something right here, guys. 1 second. 1 second, Steiner. I'm going to drop it right here in the chat for you, buddy. There you go. Going to get you the next Zoom and the ID and everything. You got it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'll see you guys in a few seconds. Thank you.